Hello, and welcome to Billy Bob's Punk and Ska Album of the Month. For the month of June 2023, I'm featuring Doom Scroll's album Immoral Compass, which dropped in 2021. Fucking phenomenal album. Like, as soon as it entered my playlist, it just hasn't left. I just gotta fucking keep listening to the shit. I can't fucking help it. I can't help it. Like, at least once a day. It's kind of fucking sick. So, I highly recommend you check out the album. Or don't. I don't know. No, do check out the album. I was lucky enough to get a hold of Smelliot Lozier, the lead singer songwriter of the group, and he answered all sorts of questions, ranging from his whole musical career, starting from Atrocity Solution, which was his first ska-core band, all the way up to his new projects, and we even discussed his artwork. So we're going to bounce into that here in just a second. Please make sure to like and subscribe, hit that fucking bell thing, and make some comments and all that other fucking jive. Yeah, we're going to cut into that shit right now. How did you first get into music?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I've always been in the music world. When I was like the littlest kid, I would just, tap around on the piano and like learn little songs when I was like, I don't know, 5 or something. But when I really started getting into music was when I think I was 12 and 11 or 12. I was banging on the walls like a drum set, and my mom got really, really mad at me. And she was like, "Fine, I'll just buy you a drum set." And that's kind of how I transitioned into the music world. And I just started playing. I started with drums, and that was like the first 3 years. And then I wanted to help write some songs with my bandmate. So I learned how to play guitar. And then I just wanted to like try out bass because I really like Les Claypool and like all that, and Primus, all that. And it was just
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, exactly. And it just kind of escalated, like and into more and more instruments and more things. And yeah.
Yeah, I could never get past the strings. I've tried the keys, but I'm not that good at it.
Yeah, it takes time. And like I feel like if you don't, I also had like a good support system. Like my mom, even though she was really annoyed with me, she was like the most supportive person on the planet, and she always like pushed me to try and do more. And I think that really helps. So like, because if you have like somebody who's like, yeah, that sounds okay. It just doesn't sound that good. And you're just like, I'm not good at this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And you just kind of like give up. It's very disheartening for sure. So it's important.
Word. So tell me, how did Atrocity Solution first come about?
That was me and my best friend Luke. Um, Dismay Design is his like art thing. He's like pretty well known out there now. But him and I like uh started playing music together. He started playing guitar and I started playing drums, and that was our first band. Actually, the first band was called The Insanity, and then we just like stole 2 members of like the local punk band, Lower Class Citizens, and they joined our band. And then together we formed Atrocity Solution. So it was a lot of fun. It was lots of like, you know, chaos. It was like, the teenage years, just going to punk shows like every weekend and like, rocking out. It was a lot of fun. So
That's awesome. So that means the first recording you released was Melodies for a Massacre in 2007. I
yeah,
freaking that was a great release, which is available right now on Bandcamp. For Name Your Price, right?
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
album. Tell me a bit about that one.
That was I guess our first real album. Like, we recorded a little bit before that, but Lower Class Citizens, the band that the two other members were in, they recorded with this producer Adam Tucker. And he's the guy who produced Melodies for a Massacre and Lost Remedies. And we just kind of like crossed paths, and he helped us record Melodies for a Massacre in like a weekend. I think we did it in two days, 2.5 days, maybe. It was crazy. 14 tracks. It's like an over an hour long, and we just flew through the recording. I don't know how we did it. But yeah, that was like some of our first ever songs that we wrote together. It
Well,
was
it
fun.
it turned out pretty awesome. It turned out pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I mean, Adam, we kind of like grew up with Adam too. He lived in our hometown, Wausau, Wisconsin, and he was in a band called A Scanner Darkly, and we like grew up with him. And then when he moved to Minneapolis, we were just like, we want to like record with you. And then he got better as we got better, and like it was it was pretty cool. When we got to Lost Remedies, he had his own giant studio, but in like for Melodies for a Massacre, we recorded, I think in his like I think it was his parents' basement or something, and it was very like, you know, broken down. Not the place, just like, it wasn't like a full blown production. It was just like us in a basement, And I'm surprised at how good it sounds for, Adam works wonders. He's one of those oral wizards.
It was a great release, and so was the 2009 Tomorrow's Too Late.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That one was a little different because we got a hold of Squirt from Choking Victim, and like he was like, I want to put you out on my label, Tent City Records. And I was like, I don't believe this is real. And then all of a sudden he's like throwing us on tours. I had to miss um the first 3 weeks of my senior year to go on tour. Because I was like, Mom, I'm not gonna like not go on tour. This is like huge for me. And then, I went on the tour. It wasn't like the greatest tour at all, but it was still like my first tour, and he like put that all together. But like at the end of the tour, we went to his house and we recorded like a bunch of those songs. I think we recorded like half of those songs, then we went back and recorded the other half some other time. But like it was also done in his basement. And yeah, I was just so surprised that Choking Victim at the time was like one of my like favorite bands, and I was just in awe that Squirt from Choking Victim wanted to like help us out, and it was a super cool time. And yeah, it was fun. So
Awesome. And which brings us to Lost Remedies. You brought it up several times. That was the pinnacle album of that band. Fucking phenomenal. Like you could really tell you guys were growing as artists. Tell me a bit about it, if you wouldn't mind.
that yeah, that I mean, that album is actually kind of like a grab bag of songs that I had over the course of like 5 years. I was living I lived in like Philadelphia for a little while, and then I lived in like Ohio for a little while, and I just like sporadically moved around, and I wasn't sure what how like Atrocity Solution was gonna like proceed. I wasn't even sure that we were gonna make another album, but I kept like kind of putting together little parts of songs, and like we were sending them back and forth and making like you can hear like really, really old demos of some of the songs of Lost Remedies if you go on YouTube. I think they're still there. but like just uh
There's one of
when
them
I
up
got
on
back,
Bandcamp.
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. But when I got back to Wisconsin, I was just like, we have to do one more. Like if we don't do it, we got to do another one. Like, and I want to make it huge because I really love like epic music. I'm really into like, movie scores and TV scores and all that. So I wanted to make it like as big as possible, like we hired a cellist, we got a violinist, we got I think trumpet. Somebody played trumpet, trombone, and I think saxophone on it too. And I played the keys on it, and that whole orchestral intro, I made it all in, like Fruity Loops. Do you know
Oh
Fruity
yeah,
Loops?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like I put it all together with like fake strings and like fake, and like fake piano and all that. And it sounded so corny. But then like, you put it all together in a real setting and it's just like, wow. So it was a pretty cool time. And like again, we went back to Tucker, and he honestly, I don't think it would have sounded half as good if it wasn't for him. He's absolutely amazing at what he does. Like he's he for Doom Scroll, he did the Immoral Compass album. He mixed and mastered it. And that's why that album sounds so good. And it's just he's yeah, can't give him enough love.
Oh
But
yeah, the
yeah.
presence on that album is phenomenal. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I cue it up on the YouTube, it like is almost twice as loud as everything else. I've noticed
Sweet.
that.
That's awesome.
Come back to me, my darling, please. I've been running around the train tracks with you. So I will hold inside me till it drains the life from me. Because life is too damn cool without company.
But let's move on to We the Heathens. How did that
Okay.
project come about?
So when Atrocity Solution was done with Lost Remedies, we toured once for it, and I wanted to keep touring and like, you know, keep doing music and all that, but everybody else, had their own thing going, and I just kept pushing and pushing, and I just wanted to like tour and like write music and do all this stuff, and everybody's busy with their own thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna try and like start a different band. So originally that band was supposed to be me and Luke, and it was supposed to be electric. There's demos online for that, and it was like I think it was like six, maybe a year of just like digital recordings of just like fake drums and all that. And then finally like Adam from uh Atrocity Solution, he bought a mandolin, and like we met up one day and we were just like, you want to just like jam a little bit and just see what happens. And I had my acoustic guitar, which I usually like write all my stuff on, and it just kind of like clicked as like an acoustic thing. And I was like, I couldn't find a drummer. That was like the main issue. I could not find a friggin' drummer because I was singing everything, and I want to like sing and play drums. That's terrible. So like
Not
I was
everyone's
just
Phil Collins.
yeah. Yeah. Um but yeah, I just decided, it's easier if this is all just like coming to me, and we might as well just like keep it acoustic. And like um we decided to just go that route, and then Luke ended up, he left the band for personal reasons, and then we just kind of like continued on with the acoustic thing for like I don't know how many years that was until the last album. But yeah.
Oh yeah, the first album was 2014, released in 2014,
Yeah, yeah.
and when it's a self-titled, that was a pretty good release. Though that in the same year you released "The Stench of a Thousand Farts" was a great EP.
Yeah, that's just like four song. I think it's the four songs from the next album, Regicide.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Stench of a great title.
I was like, why are we trying to be serious here? Let's just, be goofy for a second. There's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
that weird balance in a band where you're like playing like really heavy music, hard music, and your lyrics are really serious, but you just want to like joke around every once in a while, and it's like it feels weird. I don't know. I try and implement that in like I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate
Yeah.
Shivering in heat on the battlefield reminds me of what I'm not. Reloading his gun is about to roar off 33 more shots. 33 shots. 33 shots.
So let's move on to Regicide because that was a phenomenal release. Tell me a bit about that one.
That one. So originally, the first album is like way more, I guess, Irish, Celtic driven, and Regicide and Stench of a Thousand Farts is more like folk punk. Like we went like all in folk punk. And what happened was we toured with Days and Days, and we saw that they were doing like the screaming thing with the acoustic guitars and everything. And we were like, we could do this. And so I think the first thing that happened was Adam, like Adam and I are like huge Crust fans, and at the time we were listening to a lot of Tragedy, and he wanted to do the I think it's The Day After. I think that's the name of the song, The Day After. And he did it acoustically on mandolin. I was like, oh, that sounds so good. And we were just like, we gotta just like make our own, Crust acoustic thing. So that's how that escalated. And we were just like, we could scream over this now. We can do this. We've seen it done, like so it yeah, the evolution of it was slow, but it was cool.
It really boosted it up to the next level. Yes.
Yeah. We're all into like super heavy music and we're playing acoustic instruments for like this is weird. Like you get up on stage after like a super loud punk band and you're like just an acoustic band and it's like you feel like tiny, And so yelling as loud as you can definitely helps. Balance that.
There'll be no savior today. There is no one to come to our aid. There was never a place safe. No one knew who was on race. Rush to no second.
Shit, yeah. Then The Blood Behind the Dam, which was the last of the acoustic releases by the band. Tell me about that one.
That one was like that one took forever to record. We another grab bag of songs. I think it took us like a good 2 years of just like trying to like get together and work on the songs and then like record the songs. The recording took, I remember it taking like almost a year because we did it in Adam's house in his living room, and I felt bad because he had all of the stuff set up in his living room at all times, and it wasn't like a functional living room. It was just like a recording studio, and like I don't know, we were all like going through some stuff, and it just took a really long time to put together. But after it got put together, it was just we knew we like had something special there. That was like the album that we're all like pretty proud of. And those songs still stick with me. So yeah.
It is a fucking great album. Approaching Thunder was was fucking great. You did most of them like all the songs fully electric and with a full band.
Yeah.
How did that evolve into that? Like
so Adam and I were like getting sick of the whole like folk punk thing, and we wanted to be heavy, we were being tiny on stage. It's definitely, it definitely sucks. But we were like, why don't we just try it? Why don't we just go electric? And I like all of us were super pumped. We got a drummer, John, he drums for Adam's band Tantivy now. and he's phenomenal drummer. When we recorded Approaching Thunder, like I recorded drums for like hours on end, and I lose steam, but I sat behind, the box, and I watched him do everything because I recorded everything. Um, and he just did not lose steam. He was hitting as hard as he could for like 8 hours straight, and I was just blown away. And he's just dripping sweat, just waterfalls of sweat, and just like, let's go again, let's do it. And I'm like, you're a monster. Like, how are you alive? Like, it was crazy. So he's amazing. Then we got Luke on bass, a different Luke, from our one of our um, hometown bands, Poor Choices. He played bass. He's super good, also amazing musician. And then it was just the other four of us. It was me, Adam, Robin, and Amanda. And yeah, we were just like really interested in trying to do the like heavy strings thing. So we had, Robin and Amanda like implementing like the violin and the cello into the heavy thing. It was like, it sounded really good, but like recording, I was doing all the recordings at the time. Like I think I did every We the Heathens recording, but this one was the hardest because getting the violin and the cello to like stand out on top of two electric like Thin Lizzy guitars, and like making it sound huge and making everything sound good. Like, I'm not that good at mixing and mastering at all, and I had to do it in like 3 weeks for some reason, I forget. But like, I like don't really like the sound of how I mean, it sounds good, but the violin sounds weird, and the cello sounds like low, and I think I could have done a lot better with the actual recording. But I mean, it still sounds like heavy and like hard, and it's like when we were recording it, we knew, like when we were doing like Fuck Drunk Life and we were doing the gang vocals, it was just like, yeah, we like changed all the lyrics too, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
my favorite We the Heathen album.
Hell
Right.
yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
think you're being way too critical because I think it sounded
I
awesome.
I was just okay. So I remember being like sick at the time, like super sick, and I had to. I'm pretty sure we had to go on tour, and we had to get the CD done. We had to get the CD printed before we went on tour because we were playing with Choking Victim at a reunion show in New York, and I was just racing to try and get it done. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely overcritical of everything I do, but that one in particular for sure. But I'm glad it sounds good to everyone else. That's good.
Yeah, we all fucking love it, man.
Yeah. Everyone's their own worst critic, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Will we ever be free from the ridicule of man? A joke that we can't stand. Your immoral compass points to true decay. An impervious curse that's armed with disarray.
And then you moved on to Doom Scroll, which is the album I'm featuring. Fucking this thing has been heavy on my playlist. I've been playing it so much that fucking Ian, poor kid, knows all the lyrics to the album.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
Right. Fucking great album. Great album. Tell me how you moved on to that project.
Oh, okay. So after I was already out here. I moved out to Colorado from Wisconsin, and We the Heathens we did the electric thing, and we were like working on it, and like at the time I'd found an old like mandolin in the closet at this house I'm at, and Taylor, my fiance, she was like, yeah, I don't know, somebody just left it here. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like noodle with it, and noodling became, like, oh, this sounds good, and I'll write a little, thing to this and a little thing to this. And it just kind of like spiraled into like full songs. And it wasn't even supposed to be like a full band. It was supposed to be just like a solo project. And as I was recording it, I was just adding things to try and make it sound better. Like the kick in the hi-hat and the tambourine, that wasn't even supposed to be on the recording at all. I For the kick, I had like an old like tom drum in the closet, and I had a kick pedal here, and what I did is I held the tom up and just put a mic up to the tom and just like use that as the kick pedal, because I was like, it needs some kind of like, something more, and it worked. It sounds fine. I don't know. It was really weird, but I sent it off to Tucker, because I was like, Tucker, I'm not, after approaching Thunder, I was like, I'm not mixing and mastering anymore. I'm giving this away, and he just made it sound massive. Just incredible. But yeah, I just wanted to like try and, I guess, like, after it was done, or close to being done, I was like, maybe we should like try and do this as a band, because it was Taylor and I that like started it. Like, Taylor is the one who plays the washboard, and that's the one instrument that I can't play. I played everything else on the album, but I can't play that freaking, I don't know how she does it. It's like a weird, like, I don't know what she does. And I'm a drummer, and I've been drumming for years, but like, it was like our project, and I kind of wanted to just like try it to see if it would like be like a local band that we could. And then that just kind of escalated. We got members, and we're like, oh, let's go on tour. Now we got a whole another EP coming out on like Fat Mike's other label, and it's like it just snowballed as supposed to be like a solo project. That I have the mandolin. It's so bad.
Yeah,
I
you were
can't.
holding that when the video started, I believe.
Yeah, this okay. So like this mandolin is so like broken that I have to have a capo on this fret, otherwise all the strings buzz. Yeah, so that's what I wrote everything on.
Well,
But
it turned
yeah,
out great. Like I
thanks.
said, I can't stop freaking listening to it. Like at least once a day. It's kind of sick. It's kind of sick.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It's very fucking catchy ass
Glad you
album.
like it. Very
Yeah.
what?
Very catchy. Very catchy.
Thank you, yeah.
We ever see the silver lining in a song? Will we connect contagious bigotry in these categories and walls? And as the sun begins to set on human kindness and regret, the darkest in the narrowest corridors of our own mindset.
And you just finished touring. How did that go?
Woo! This last tour, I am still feeling it. It was a month-long tour, and it was with both of my bands. I'm in Escape from the Zoo as well. And so I was doing double duty every single night, opening with Doom Scroll and then closing out the night with Escape from the Zoo. And like, it was fine in the beginning. It was fine. And then something happened like halfway through where like we were on our way to Denver, and like we get a text from Jesse and Veronica saying that their alternator just like shit the bed. Oh, can I say shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't give two.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. Shit the bed because like somebody their battery died, and when they tried to like jump the car, like the guy was like, "Oh, I can help you," and he put the jumper cables on backwards, and he fried both of their batteries and both of their alternators. So that was the beginning of it, and then we went to the Redwoods. It was phenomenal. We went to the Tallwoods. I forget what it's called.
Great pictures.
Yeah, it's where they like shot all of like Star Wars and all that. But as we were leaving the Redwoods, that's when everything like just shit the bed. Our check engine light started flashing on the 101, and we're like, okay, pull off. And nobody wanted to come tow us because we were like, I don't know why nobody wanted. We were in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and nobody could come get us because we were in the middle of two giant towns. So then finally we drove up to I think it was, I forget the name of the town. We drove up to some town, then we got a tow from AAA to Medford, and we all had to sit in the back of the van without the tow truck driver knowing for 2 hours and get ourselves to Medford too, because like nobody's not, there was like seven of us in the van, and we're not all gonna fit in the front. So we just like snuck ourselves back there, and it was terrible. It was very scary. Uh then we like dropped the van off at some dealership, at some Mercedes dealership, because they're the only ones who have like special parts that could like work on the van. And then we got a rental, went up to Seattle, played shows all the way down. There was chaos that happened on the way down. We saw somebody get hit by a car and die. That was terrible. Jesse fell off a mountain into a ravine. They had to have like a rescue team of like 30 people come out and like pulley rope him out of this thing because he like messed up his wrist. He was in like a stretcher thing. It was a mess. And then we got back to Medford, and on the day that our van is supposed to be looked at, the only technician in Medford that can look at this van, his dog dies on the day that we're supposed to like that he's supposed to look at it, and we only have one more day to like get to Sacramento. And we're like, I can't even be mad because it's terrible. It's like a terrible situation. Like, so
That poor puppy.
I know, the poor puppy. I was so like sad and mad and sad. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like the worst thing that could happen. Like, so then finally they like rush and get it done like hours before we're supposed to like leave to go to Sacramento. Taylor and P go to pick up the van, and they're driving away from the dealership, and the check engine light flashes again. So then we turn it right around and drop it back off at the dealership. It's still there, by the way. It's still there. But then we got another rental van for the rest of the tour, but it was with a round trip rental. So we had to finish out the whole tour, go all the way to Albuquerque, and then up to Denver, and then back to Oregon. And then Taylor had to fly back to Denver. And it was just nonstop. Like, I've never had that many problems with a tour ever. I don't know what it was, but the shows were incredible. Everyone that came to the shows and everyone that helped out with the shows, phenomenal. It was just like everything else. I don't know what it was. It was very strange. It's very strange.
So
But the van is still there too, and we're getting it shipped back to Wyoming to get a new engine put in because the Mercedes dealership quoted us like $21,000 to fix it. And we're like, no, we're not gonna do that.
For the ProMaster?
For the ProMaster, the cylinder 1 and cylinder 6 were like misfiring. So they changed out the spark plugs, and that didn't fix it. So then they did a compression test, and they were like, oh yeah, there's something wrong with the compression. It's gonna be this much money. And we're like, no, we're not doing that. That's absolutely not what we're gonna do. So we're getting it shipped to Wyoming, and yeah, it's just
there's some redneck that can drop a new engine in that for $2,000 somewhere.
Oh yeah, Taylor's dad's friend is gonna help us do the whole thing, and it's just I'm still feeling it. It's been hell.
So
Amazing.
So out of the shows, what was your favorite experience?
Oh, I think probably Moonrunners. Moonrunners was like the coolest. Like, I don't think I've had that many people like chant my songs to me ever. Like, for a Doomscroll set, like the sound guy came up to me afterwards and after the show, and he was like, you guys had the biggest crowd of the night. And I was like, no way. And then Escape from the Zoo played, and we got to do this like this co-song with our friends from the Palmer Squares. So we were like kind of like the backing band for them, and that was how we like transitioned on the stage, and it was like so cool. It was just, I don't know, it was a wild time. And then like Apes of the State finished off the night, and we got to do like a little sing-along thing with them on the ground, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably my favorite show of the tour for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Right after we reserve a cozy cemetery spot.
had the other day you said you had a new project that you were working on?
Yeah, so in 2020 I attempted to record like what was supposed to be electric We the Heathens, and I got halfway through it and I was just hating it. I was just hating how it sounds. You can hear one song. It's on a compilation that Jordan Steele put out from Low Cash Ninjas. I forget where it is, but it's under the name like Pesky Self or something. But that was the only song that actually got released out of that 2020 bunch, and I just abandoned the project and then started doing Doom Scroll. So like a year ago, I was just thinking about how those songs are just sitting there, not being used because they're like so different from Atrocity Solution. They're so different from We the Heathens. They're so different from Doom Scroll, and I just wanted to like get them out there. So I re-recorded them with P, and I have been like just sporadically working on it as I have time. And it's like 15 songs that I'm just like kind of, I'm onto vocals now, and hopefully I can get that done before the year ends. I don't know.
Got
But
any working titles for this project?
the original working title was Hermit Stew, and I don't know. I mean, people know the name, but I don't know if I'm gonna go with that. It's still just like work in progress. It's like it kind of sounds like a cross between Atrocity Solution and Pup. If I don't know if you listen to Pup.
Oh yeah. I'm all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Man.
All right, sweet. Yeah. So it's very strange, but it's eventually it'll come out. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, we got 4 minutes left.
Oh shit.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Let's talk about your artwork real quick, because when I tried to do a quick Google search on you, the first thing that popped up was a bunch of art, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. The art is my thing that I do when I'm not touring and not playing music. And I make art for bands. Like I've done art for like Leftover Crack and like Days and Days and Escape from the Zoo and Casualties, and I've done like art for like a bunch of huge bands, and I do art for like every style of band, everything you can think of. If somebody wants some art, just come hit me up. Like I'm always down to draw something cool for you. So
oh yeah, it's super detailed. I love your artwork, man. It's fucking phenomenal. Like
it's like very pen and ink oriented, and I like all the little like minute details. Just that's like my jam. So
which you can you have a page set up where you're selling some prints and some bookmarks.
Yeah.
You
can go on to like it's artwork of Smelliot Lozier at Big Cartel, or you can go on to like my Instagram. I think my Instagram is Pesky Self now, at Pesky Self, or you can just look up Smelliot Lozier. I show up. But yeah.
How fucking amazing was that shit? Full of great information. Make sure to check out all them albums that we have discussed. Every one of them's located up on the fucking Bandcamp, so you can go acquire them all. Stay tuned, because I guess that new EP is going to be coming out, and it's bound to be awesome. And then his new project, whatever he decides to name it, it's going to be fucking badass too. I mean, you got so much good music, you can't just help but put out more good music. But thank you for checking it out. Like I said before, like and subscribe, click the fucking bell, some comments, all that other shit. Check out that shit on Bandcamp, and tune in for whatever the fuck I decide to feature next month. Thank you very much. Later.